COVID-19 origins. A new report by the Center for Security Policy concludes that the virus did not emerge naturally. A team of intelligence and security professionals, collectively known as Team B, state that significant circumstantial evidence exists that the virus was actually created in a Wuhan, China lab and then was deliberately unleashed on the world by the Chinese Communist Party. Well, here to explain is one of the authors of the new report, Peter Hoekstra. Mr. Hoekstra is Advisory Board Chairman of Center for Security Policy and the former chairman of the U.S. House Intelligence Committee. Okay, Congressman, I'm sure you've received a lot of criticism since this report was released. So some people are saying it's a conspiracy theory with little evidence to back it up. So what do you say?
Well, there's a tremendous amount of evidence, and that's why we brought this team together. We took a look at what had been said by the U.S. government, social media, the news media in general about the origins of COVID. What did they say? For a year and a half, they said, no way it came out of a lab. It developed naturally. A year and a half later, they said, well, you know what? Maybe it did come out of a lab. But what do we do know? Number one, the Chinese have a stated objective to take over and be the number one superpower in the world, removing the United States. The second thing we know is that they've been researching through gain-of-function research, through funds provided by Dr. Fauci at the Wuhan lab, things like the COVID virus. Third, when you research the virus scientifically, you understand very clearly that this thing did not evolve out of nature. There's a lot of evidence that says most likely this came out of the lab. But perhaps the most convincing item that China really wanted to export this virus to the rest of the world was what? In January of 2020, China allowed millions of Chinese to leave China at the same time that they were locking down Wuhan. They said, yeah, we've got this illness in Wuhan, but it doesn't transfer from human to human. The World Health Organization backed them up on that. It was a total lie. The Chinese knew better, but yet they made sure that they exported this virus intentionally to the rest of the world. You pull all of this together, and the result is, you know what? China, the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, is at war with America.
And to what extent was the United States then involved in that gain-of-function research at the lab? What did you find?
Well, I mean, we've never had an accountability from Fauci. He's stonewalled Congress. The Democrats have not gone in and tried to research exactly how much money went to which organizations. What did we actually do? We do know that money went to Wuhan. We do know that Chinese research scientists are thoroughly populated through our research labs here in the United States of America. You also heard about these labs in Ukraine. I'm looking forward to a Congress, an intelligence committee that actually does a deep dive into what the United States knew, what leaders in our health facilities knew, when did they know it, and did they actually facilitate or assist the Chinese in this attack against the United States of America?
But hasn't this also, Congressman, hurt the Chinese government as well and their economy? It's not just the U.S. and parts of the world.
Oh, it sure has. But remember, we have different philosophies. Americans, we value life. We as Christians, we value every single life. In the womb, life is essential and valuable in our way of life, in our society. In China, it's a throwaway. They kill prisoners to harvest organs. They've killed millions through their communist efforts. If they can move forward in taking down the United States of America, and it costs them millions of lives, they don't care. We do. It's cost 1 million American lives at this point. It's wreaked havoc with our economy. We need to get to the bottom of this, and we're going to get to it once we start holding China accountable. Remember, they've never shared information with us.
So why isn't the Biden administration then pushing China to allow a thorough investigation?
Yeah, that's a great question. Why is China going to see American oil flowing into China? Why are they going to see this president most likely lift a number of tariffs, including on solar panels?
Well, we saw the Hong Kong flu in the late 1960s, the SARS epidemic in 2003, bird flu 2006, and most recently COVID-19. So what are the chances that another virus with Chinese origins may be unleashed on the world in the years ahead? This may not be the end.
Of course not. It isn't the end. The Chinese, in their writings, their public speeches, they've said that biowarfare is something that they will consider, and it may be something that they will use. From our perspective, this COVID-19 is a test run. As they increase their capabilities, increase their sophistication with bioweapons, who knows where they may go. But we need to recognize the threat is real. The Chinese have used it, and they will use it again.
Okay, your findings are detailed in the book, The CCP is at War with America. So where can people get a copy?
They can go to ccpatwar.com, and that's where they can get the book. And really, the objective of our effort is to expose this information to the American people, read the information, compare to what you're seeing come from our own government, and you make the determination as to which one you believe and which one creates the most compelling case and most accurately reflects what they've seen over the last 2.5 years.
Well, you're the former chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. I think you know what you're talking about. Peter Hoekstra, Advisory Board Chairman now of the Center for Security Policy. Thank you, Congressman, for providing those insights. We appreciate it. Go Blue.
Hey, go Blue, and thank you for having me on, Gary.